Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GinJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Wednesday, November 8th. Right now, we're taking a look at the road ahead for your Jacksonville Jaguars. It is a tough one over the next 6 games, right? We're going to dive into it. Obviously, we will get hot and heavy into Jaguars 49ers. It is a Week 10 matchup in Jacksonville throughout the rest of the week. But coming off the bye week, still kind of looking at some big picture things. Wanted to look at the next 6 games. A lot of folks on Twitter have been kind of taking a look at the next 6 games. It's a challenging slate of games for the Jaguars. There's no doubt about it. But the Jaguars, they're 6-2. They're coming off the bye week. They're getting healthy at the right time in a lot of places. So we're going to dive into it. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out ginjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear. Really appreciate your support. So again, the Jaguars' next 6 games, incredibly difficult slate for this football team. This slate of games will help define the Jaguars' regular season in 2023, and it's going to help determine playoff seeding for the Jaguars and for the rest of the AFC. When you look at it, the Jaguars, they've got the 49ers at home this weekend, as we talked about. Then 2 division games versus Tennessee, at Houston. Then you return home from Houston to host the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Then you head to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns, and then you host the Baltimore Ravens. So all 4 of those non-division games are against teams that would be in the playoffs if the season ended today. Teams that are currently in the playoffs. That's tough. 4 games against playoff teams, and then 2 division games as well. I mean, the 49ers, the first team coming up, again, we will dive into it more throughout the rest of this week, but they are unbelievably talented on both sides of the ball in a lot of spots. Kyle Shanahan, an absolute mastermind on offense. You know, Steve Wilks is a good defensive coordinator in his own right. I know it hasn't been perfect for them lately. I think they've got some personnel issues happening on the back end a little bit. They've lost 3 straight games, but they are coming off their bye week. Very, very good coaching staff, a lot of talent. They just added Chase Young to a defensive front that was already stacked. They're hoping to have Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams back this week. We'll see how that plays out. But that's a tough game. You know, a wounded animal is always tough, is always dangerous. And that's exactly what the San Francisco 49ers are right now. Then you host the Titans, who you should beat on paper, no question about it. But you know that can be a slugfest. We've seen it time and time again. Will Levis has injected a little bit of juice into that offense. Probably don't like rookie quarterbacks against a Mike Caldwell defense, but you saw C.J. Stroud get it done. I don't think Will Levis is in C.J. Stroud's stratosphere right now, but Titans can be difficult to beat. They are a tough, gritty football team coached by Mike Vrabel. The Texans, as I mentioned, they mopped the floor with the Jaguars in the second half of that game earlier this season in Jacksonville. Now they get to host the Jags, and they're feeling pretty confident about themselves, moving in the right direction. Very good coaching staff, very good young quarterback, a lot of talent on that football team, budding young talent. The Bengals are as hot as it gets right now. Joe Burrow is back. They're beating everybody that they play over the last few weeks, and they're doing it in impressive fashion. They dismantled the 49ers. They just beat the Bills. The Bengals are going to be incredibly difficult to beat on Monday Night Football a few weeks from now. And you look at the Browns. They have one of the best defenses in football this year. They're a volatile team from week to week, but still a very difficult road test. Will be a tough environment, a difficult defense to get the ball moving against. And then the Ravens, the final team of this 6-game slate, they might be the very best team in football right now. Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level. He's got all sorts of weapons to throw the football to. Their offensive line executing as well. Running game getting the job done. And then the defense, they might be the best in football on that side of the ball as well. You know, Jadeveon Clowney, a guy the Jaguars brought in for a visit, he's dominating for them. They've got a lot of guys playing really good football. Kyle Van Noy, he's also rushing the passer, was a street free agent. Justin Madubuike in the middle. They've got really, really good linebackers. I mean, Roquan Smith, I've said I think Foye Oluokun is playing at an all-pro level. I think Roquan Smith is right there with him. One of the best linebackers in the league. And they've got a very good group of players in their secondary as well. And Mike McDonald is doing a hell of a job coaching them up on that side of the ball. So this is a really difficult 6-game stretch for the Jaguars. Internally, the Jaguars, they expect to win every game. Their goal is to go 1-0 every week. That's their messaging. That's their thought process. Not looking ahead. just trying to go 1-0 every week. And I know every team says that. I think the Jaguars do a very good job of compartmentalizing the season and really focusing on the task at hand, having the teaching points of this specific contest. Obviously, coming off the bye week, they've had some extra time to prepare for this, but so have the 49ers. Both teams had a bye last week. So I think that the Jaguars, they want to go 1-0 every week. That is their message. That is their expectation. That is their belief. But from my perspective, I think going 6-0 during this stretch would be incredible. I mean, it would be insane. The Jaguars beat 4 straight playoff teams and, obviously mix in your division games in there. That would be absolutely incredible by the Jaguars. But the Jags, they have won 5 straight. They have won 5 straight games, and they've beaten some playoff teams during that stretch. Still, for me, I'm looking at if you go 4-2 during this 6-game stretch, that's a win for me. 3-3 is fine. It's not inspiring, but it's fine. In that building, though, I think they would be very disappointed with 3-3. This is a team that's 13-4 over the last calendar year in the regular season. So 3-3, not really acceptable internally for the Jaguars. I think they would be okay if they went 4-2 internally, and they'd be pretty damn happy if they go 5-1. Obviously, their goal again is going to be to go 6-0, but I think they would be very happy with 5-1. So if they go 3-3 over this stretch, that would get them to 9-5. They'd likely still be atop the division. The Texans already have 4 losses, so I don't think that they're going to be sitting there at 10-4 unless they just go on an incredible run of their own. At 4-2, you'd be sitting at 10-4, maybe still competing for that 1 seed, depending on how things play out for the rest of these teams in the AFC. And at 5-1, I think you could absolutely be at the top of the conference. You'd be sitting there with 11 wins and 3 losses, right? I think that would be absolutely incredible for the Jaguars. And I think it's possible. I would not put anything past this Jaguars team right now. All the ingredients are here in Jacksonville. You have the coach. Doug Peterson is an incredible coach. You have a quarterback. You have the talent on offense and defense. Obviously, you want to get some things cleaned up on the offensive side of the ball. You want to get Tyson Campbell and Andre Sisco back on defense. Want a little bit better pass protection on offense, which I think you should get with a fully healthy offensive line. And obviously, Ezra Cleveland coming in to be your 6th man at guard. If you have any injuries now at guard or tackle, you've got a starting caliber player to come in and replace them because, if you have an injury at tackle, Walker Little kicks out, Ezra Cleveland goes in at guard. If you have an injury at guard, obviously Ezra Cleveland comes in. So I think your offensive line should be a little better in pass protection moving forward. I think you just got to clean up some of the unforced errors on the offensive side of the ball. And then also, we don't talk about it a lot, but special teams matters. It matters a lot. And the Jaguars have one of the best special teams units in the NFL. I mean, Brandon McManus has been absolutely money for them this year. Logan Cook has always been one of the best punters in the league. Jamal Agnew playing really good football as a return man. He's one of the best returners in this league, both kick and punt return. And then you talk about the guys out there, the core special teamers. They're doing a great job. And they're well coached by Heath Farwell. And so when you talk about winning football games against teams that you're, pretty even with on paper, like the 49ers, Ravens, Bengals, etc., special teams is going to help you out if you can execute in that area of the game, in the third phase of the game. If you have a good offense, a good defense, and a good special teams, you are incredibly difficult to beat. And I think you've seen that, the special teams units really helping the Jaguars out during this 5-game winning streak. And so for me, it's all there for the Jaguars. It is all there. All the ingredients they need are in that building. It's about, cutting out some of the mistakes on offense, making sure you improve your pass protection, trying to get a little bit more vertical offensively, hopefully getting Zay Jones back at some point. If they don't get Zay Jones back soon, I would absolutely be trying to insert Elijah Cooks into that lineup a little bit more. This is a guy that does bring verticality to your offense. He's got a big catch radius. He's tough. He's got great hands. I think that obviously he has yet to show anything during the regular season, but I would love to see them get Elijah Cooks a little bit more involved because sans Zay Jones, who is their 4th receiving option, in a given week, he could be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever it may be. But, you have Calvin Ridley on the outside. You have Christian Kirk in the slot. You have Evan Ingram, who you can move around from tight end to slot, wherever you want to put him. you need your last outside guy, your second outside guy. And I don't think that they have had that since Zay Jones' injury. I think Elijah Cooks has the talent to do that. I think we saw that throughout his college career, throughout training camp and the preseason. I would like to see them, they've now had a bye week, get Elijah Cooks involved a little bit here, in my opinion, because he can potentially give defenses something to think about. Right now, defenses are not giving any attention to the Jaguars' fourth receiver after Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram. They're just not. So maybe do something, right? And who knows when Zay will be back. Currently, he's day-to-day. Doug Peterson did not rule out the IR for him, though, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with his knee. He did have a workout on Monday, whatever that means, according to Doug Peterson. But yeah, I absolutely think all the pieces are there for the Jaguars. I think that they can get the job done. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if they win all these games. I would be surprised, I'll say that, because it's just such a gauntlet. Playing the Ravens, Bengals, and 49ers, three of those teams in a 6-game stretch. And then the other three teams are the Browns, who have one of the toughest defenses in the league, and two divisional opponents. That would be an incredible run if the Jaguars go on it. But again, internally, they're expecting to go 1-0 every week. They're expecting to win all these games. It's going to be a really fun ride the rest of this season. And again, this 6-game stretch is going to help define what the Jaguars look like going into the playoffs. Obviously, they'll have 3 more games following the 6-game stretch where they play the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Titans. That 3-game stretch does not look like the most challenging. Obviously, every week is a challenge in the NFL. But I think that you get through this 6-game stretch and you're looking good in the playoff standings, you're going to feel good about those last 3 games if you're the Jaguars, no doubt about it. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. Love to know what y'all think. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, or you can drop a comment in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube. Again, you can check out ginjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. Really appreciate y'all's support. Have a good one.